Good morning. I thought I'd do a little extra video. I think with this one, unlike the weekly wash, it'll be a little bit my observations on a lot of things. But however, this isn't gonna be like the weekly wash, but what major thing. Uh, I would like to get a little bit personal because I view how I want to come across this, a lot of subjects is not so much as, oh, like let's spill the tea on this, and because I don't really want to be that kind of thing. If I'm going to be a commentary channel, I wanted to make it more commentary over real shit, not like drama, not like YouTube celebrities, if there even is name a celebrity. Do about some stories that I've been through, um, a couple of incidences and stuff, and talk about my music, of course. Um, I could branch out into separate things, but really, it's all part of me. It's I can compartment, compartmentalize a lot of things, but it's all part of who I am. If enough viewers get subscribed and stuff, then I'll eventually split up and stuff. I haven't, in the focus of music and really, and if I do that, it's gonna be like everything related to music, my history of making music, different albums. I'm gonna start posting a lot more stuff for where you can at least stream some of my stuff for now. But I'll do it when I just do music. Kind of keep it relevant. Um, hmm. I wanted to be a different kind of commentator because as a 48-year-old black man, I've seen a lot of stuff now. And if you haven't learned at this point about some life lessons and what I've learned and what you learn and stuff, and you're starting to get up in age, and if you start to hit 50, whatever, if you don't have anything to say, I think worthwhile to say to pass along to the future generations, whatever, even your peers, even your elders, then what the fuck you doing talking? And I was talking, thinking about being accountable, and not just for making other people accountable. That means I have to make myself more accountable. And there is some things that happened this last week that I have to hold myself accountable for. And being accountable is part of having integrity. I can't be like these motherfuckers around here or on YouTube or anywhere else that want to try to act like holier than thou, or be judgmental, or spill tea and shit without being accountable to oneself, to myself. And there's a lot of things I'm accountable for. What are the things I'm accountable for is my own fuck up that I mentioned briefly up in the wash. That you'll hopefully watch that too. Hopefully before this, is that what I feel, hold myself accountable for me stupidly putting my leaving my phone at home while I was trying to go to because my tickets, my MC tickets, and the chance to redeem an NFT that was only 83,000 available out of the million people, because I was part of the Investors Club and also the other club too. I messed that up. And my girl, I love my girl to death. She's my heart. Try to make it, try to be positive, but if I have to come down hard, if I come down hard on anybody, I'm coming down hard on myself. Because really, I could be missing out. Maybe in a couple of years, maybe sooner. I could have a possibility of gaining maybe up to 100,000, maybe up to 15, maybe just 1,000. Hell, maybe extra $10. I don't know. See, and but that's beside the point. The point is that I fucked up morally. And I got on myself hard. I was depressed. I'm still am kind of, because it's not over. Because I need to see how much these Spider-Man No Way Home NFTs are worth. Now the whole subject of NFTs, I've actually took a neutral stance on it, because not that I don't know, because I got the gist, but I don't know if it's gonna be legit or not as a concept. I don't know, but I have to hold myself accountable for my actions, for my screw ups. It's all about keeping it a buck. I've seen people talk about, oh hell, they keep on bragging. They say, oh, I keep it real, I keep it 100, I keep it a buck. But when it comes about their own actions, their own shit, they want to try to hem haw and all that. And I'm not the kind of brother to do that. I can't. You know, another thing I hold myself accountable for, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, when I say keep it 100, I keep it 100, even if it makes me look bad. I hold myself accountable for my role for not seeing my mother as much as I did before she died. She passed away last year from cancer. But the surrounding issues that led to her death is the one thing I'm still getting to grasp with, because it's not the fact that my mother passed away. The reasons, the decisions I made up, and the family that's supposed to look out for her, be included, didn't do her right. And I'm not going to talk about anybody else that's in this situation, because I've said my piece, like on Facebook and all that, but I have to go look at myself. Okay. Me and my mother had a falling out, because my mother had withheld the information that my son had a serious concussion. He could have died, had brain damage and shit. And my aunt just called like I knew, and I didn't know, because I don't snoop in other people's Facebook. I don't do that shit. My mother does, my grandmother does, other people in my family do, but I don't snoop, because I have my own thing. And if they don't like what I say, then they don't have to be on my friends list. But because of that, I kind of put away. I didn't care. I didn't know the situation to where my mother was surrounded by people, rather than looking out for her while she was going through cancer. They were sucking the life out of her. So I bear responsibility for not being there enough as I should have. But on the flip side, I didn't have enough money at the time that she was first going through treatment. She was staying on the East Coast, and it was cheaper to fly to Hawaii than it ever goes on the East Coast. In the East Coast, I don't know anybody on the East Coast. My mother was born in New Jersey. She was staying in Maryland, and she had relatives in all her mother's side of the family. They have family from Florida, Alabama, all the way up through that, all the way through the East Coast. And I've been born West Coast. I'm the first one of my generation of my mother's side of the family from being from the West Coast. I don't have any connection over there, and I still don't. That being said, this does not negate my responsibility. It does not negate my role in all this. And the more things that pop up after all this time, after the year later, after I do whatever I had to do, there's more the question I need to ask, not about my mother's death, because I already know from that part And it's not just from the cancer thing. There is a cost. It was preventable. My mother should have been alive right now if it wasn't for family. Let me say this one more time. My mother would still be alive today if it wasn't for family. If it weren't for family. And I bear part of the responsibility for that. I should have looked out for her against everybody else, including her mother. But I didn't do that. I failed. Um, I had taken responsibility for the failures I had. No parent is perfect. None. And everything I tried to do was try to help so I could have take care of my son. My son's 24 now, so it doesn't really matter now. It really doesn't. After the stuff that I went through and the stuff I kind of went through health wise that I'm still kind of going through, at the end of the day, that part doesn't matter. And that's another thing. I bear responsibility to a point, but then it's to a point where you have to wash your hands of the matter. If my hands are washed, my soul is clear. But for the other stuff with my mother, I still have it on my hands. Regret? Yeah. Because I should have looked out for my mother more against the other family. But since I was the only person that's been out, I've been away. Everybody's in one spot, I've been away. A lot of people on the East Coast, right? A lot of people on the East Coast. A lot of people in LA or LA County. But me, I'm the only one really up in the Northwest. And pretty soon, and this could be another thing in of itself, the whole me time being up here, I still want to get the fuck out. But now there's some things that's coming up in front, whether or not that's going to be possible or it's going to actually be accelerated. And it involves on a lot of personal things that I don't really want to discuss. But let's just say that I've been away for a while, so I didn't know how other family react. I didn't know. I thought my family would look out for my mother. We're all family, right? And it turns out that wasn't the case. I saw it, and I bear responsibility for that. Because had I known, a lot of things would have been straight cut. Or maybe not. Whether or not I was able to do something or not, that's not even the question at this point. The options could have gone either way. So when I come to you, when I talk about stuff, when there's some stuff that goes on either personally or micro or major or whatever, as a commenter, I'm about to say commoner, huh? As a commenter, it's my responsibility to keep it 100, even if I end up being wrong on some things. It's fair enough. But I think I kind of rambled enough as it is for this one. I want to name this accountability. Why it's important for me to be accountable and part of keeping it real on this channel. And please, if you hadn't already, please take a look at the Weekly Wash Part 2, where we talk about my history with AMC, what went on at AMC briefly. Yeah. Peace out.